Donald Trump promised to unleash the Epstein files and expose the truth, but guess what? It's just another one of his empty promises. Now even MAGA world is fuming, and Republicans are starting to turn on him. It's a full-blown meltdown, and we're diving right into the chaos. First up, here's a quick refresher on how the Epstein file scandal exploded, with Chris Hayes setting the stage.
Donald Trump, and take it with a grain of salt, has promised full transparency when it comes to most of the big conspiracy theories of the past 60 years, something he campaigned on in the lead up to the election. The issue led to an absolutely Hall of Fame interview clip.
Would you declassify the 9/11 files?
Yeah.
Would you declassify JFK files?
Yeah.
Would you,
I did a lot of it.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would. I think that less so because, you don't know it. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world. Yeah, I don't know about Epstein so much as I do the others.
Wow, just wow. I mean, you really can't make this stuff up. Trump promised full transparency, like he was about to walk into Area 51 and just start handing out classified documents like party favors. But the second the name Epstein pops up, suddenly he's all nervous, rambling about phony stuff and affecting people's lives. Sure, Donald, now you're worried about protecting people. Not exactly the guy you expect to start respecting lives and privacy after spending decades airing out everyone else's dirty laundry when it suited him. And notice how fast he backpedaled. One minute he's Mr. I declassified everything. Next minute he's basically saying, well, maybe not this one because reasons, reasons. It's almost like Trump realized mid-sentence, wait, I might actually be in those files. Because let's not forget, Trump and Epstein weren't exactly strangers. And there are more pictures of them together than there are of Trump with half his own kids. The MAGA base might be slow sometimes, but even they smell something rotten here. And trust me, the way James Comer drags Trump next, it's about to get even uglier and way funnier.
Yep, Epstein. Sure about that? Maybe not Epstein. I wonder why Donald Trump wouldn't want the Epstein files being made public. I mean, here he is in 1992 dancing and leering at women with his buddy Jeffrey Epstein at Mar-a-Lago. In 2002, Donald Trump said Jeffrey Epstein is, and I quote him here, a terrific guy. It is even said he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side. I wonder why Donald Trump wouldn't want the Epstein files to be made public. Thing is, many members of Trump's base do. The Republican House Oversight Committee sent multiple letters to Attorney General Pam Bondi demanding the Epstein files be released. Bondi then went on an apology tour to Fox News, promising the documents would be released imminently. Today, the White House made a big show of handing a bunch of conservative influencers binders labeled the Epstein Files, Phase 1. But the whole stunt was a bust.
Oh, this just keeps getting juicier, doesn't it? The minute Epstein's name comes up, Trump turns into a human glitch, stuttering, dodging, suddenly forgetting how to form full sentences. And honestly, who could blame him? When your terrific guy of a buddy is a convicted sex offender, and there are literal receipts, like Trump and Epstein partying it up at Mar-a-Lago, doing their best creepy uncles at a wedding impression. Yeah, you probably don't want too many documents hitting the sunlight. And Trump's own words, likes beautiful women on the younger side. Seriously? Who says that out loud and thinks it sounds normal? It's like Trump wasn't even trying to hide the slime. Even his own base wasn't buying the act anymore. The Republican-led House Oversight Committee, MAGA's home turf, started begging for the Epstein files. Pam Bondi, doing her best loyal soldier impression, tried to spin it on Fox News, promising any minute now. And then what do we get? A bunch of empty binders handed out like consolation prizes at a rigged carnival. Phase 1 turned into Phase none, and trust me, what comes next? It's even more pathetic.
What's interesting is we're all waiting for bombshells, we're all waiting for juicy stuff, and that's not what's in this binder. That's not what's in this binder at all.
It is the biggest disappointment I think that you'll find. I encourage you to do your own homework on this. It's mostly procedural jargon, Glenn, heavily redacted.
Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna, the Florida Republican leading this charge, said of the binders, all caps, "This is not what we or the American people asked for, and a complete disappointment."
Everyone was bracing for bombshells, scandals, secrets, shocking revelations, and what did we get? A dusty old binder packed with bureaucratic word salad and redactions so heavy it looked like someone had attacked it with a Sharpie in a blackout. This is not what we or the American people asked for, and a complete disappointment. That's Florida's very own MAGA queen, Anna Paulina Luna, who normally treats anything Trump touches like it's sacred, practically screaming in all caps at how bad the Epstein files rollout was. Because let's be real, the soft launch of the Epstein files wasn't just disappointing, it was an absolute joke. Entire pages were blacked out, real information was non-existent, and the whole thing looked like a bad high school prank gone federal. And honestly, it's beyond disgusting. These are serious crimes against children, and Trump's administration played it off like a publicity stunt, like a sick little game for the base. At the time, even hardcore Republicans were livid. Some got tired, wandered off, but not all of them. Anna Paulina Luna made it crystal clear. She wasn't letting this go, and she made that painfully obvious in this moment right here.
The one thing I've been very frustrated with, Matt, is that I have tried very hard to obtain the Jeffrey Epstein files. I have been contacting the Department of Justice. I've even chased down the FBI, and I keep getting the same thing. We are reviewing documents. I don't believe that the process has been as good as the JFK rollout and the MLK and the RFK rollout will be. And so I'm going to continue to put pressure on the DOJ to release that information. Look, there's bad people that haven't been charged for doing really horrible things with underage people. And frankly,
has the DOJ given you any timeline on that, Anna?
No. In fact, I haven't really gotten any communication from the DOJ.
And frankly, has the DOJ given you any timeline on that, Anna? No, in fact, I haven't really gotten any communication from the DOJ. Now, let's be clear, Anna Paulina Luna is not exactly the sharpest tool in the MAGA shed, but she is a sitting member of Congress, which means she actually has some political weight to throw around. She can pressure Trump's DOJ in ways regular people just can't. And yet, crickets. Nothing but silence. No updates, no promises, no timeline for any future Epstein file dumps. Makes you wonder, what exactly is hiding under all those black boxes? And trust me, it's not just Anna waving the red flag now. James Comer is stepping up next. And the accusation he's about to drop, it's going to peel the orange paint right off Trump's golden facade.
Can't turn that over. James Comer accuses Trump administration of stonewalling on Epstein files. Congressman James Comer, chairman of the House Oversight Committee, accused Donald Trump's administration of stonewalling his request for files about accused child trafficker Jeffrey Epstein. During a weekend interview, Comer talked about his task force on the declassification of federal secrets, which is looking at the Epstein files, JFK files, and the September 11th attacks and other conspiracy theories. So our task force is trying to reach out and question the bureaucrats, figure out which bureaucrats didn't comply with the orders, Comer said. Same thing happened with the Epstein files when Pam Bondi thought she was releasing the files. It wasn't really the Epstein files, obviously. So that task force is kind of working very hard behind the scenes to identify which bureaucrats and which bureaucrats are not complying with the president's orders, he continued. I heard that 10,000 times over the past 2 years. Well, we can't turn that over. That's an ongoing investigation. We're hearing that with the Epstein files now in the administration. The reporter pressed Comer about which Trump officials were refusing to release the Epstein files. Well, that's what when we request information, if they don't provide it, that's what they say. There's an ongoing investigation, Comer replied. Whoever replies to our letter or subpoena, that's what they say, that there's an ongoing investigation. The task force has asked for, the Epstein list and things like that, and that's been the reply thus far. But they still say we're going to release it. We're in the process of releasing it. Comer also questioned whether the U.S. government had used information from the Epstein files to blackmail individuals. The thing that worries me about the Epstein files, and I've read a lot about it, like most Americans have, is that our government was involved in this, he asserted. Were they potentially blackmailing some of the most influential people in the United States or in the world? And in that case, I kind of find it hard to believe that any type of evidence of that would still be in existence.
So let's get this straight. James Comer, who's literally the chairman of the House Oversight Committee, can't even get his hands on the files MAGA has been shrieking about for years. And who's blocking him? Surprise, surprise. It's Trump's own people. Apparently the same deep state villains that Trump and his MAGA squad constantly rage against are suddenly protecting secrets that Donald himself doesn't seem too eager to spill. Wonder why? What possible connections could Trump have to anyone in that mess that would make those files, let's say, extremely inconvenient for him? Just a wild guess, right? Well, looks like Jared Moskowitz might be about to drop some serious tea on that question.
What is the majority so concerned, or to use some of the words of my colleagues, afraid to have Hunter Biden sit at this desk, Mr. Chairman, you control the rules. You could give everybody 10 minutes. You could give everybody 15 minutes. You could give everybody 20 minutes. You could give your side as much time. We could go on for days here, quite frankly, because, again, you control the rules, as you just showed. But the one difference that you guys object to is you object to those. You object to the cameras because you don't want the American people to hear the answers. No, you want to take the transcript and release it 6 months after you've gone out and lied about what has happened. And so, again, because the gentle lady from Georgia, I know is such an advocate for women's rights, as she mentioned, and is so concerned about grooming, and apparently we don't have any standards here anymore. Again, I just want to remind my colleagues, because, you know, I don't want them to forget about hypocrisy, okay? I don't want them to forget about hypocrisy. But, you know, Donald Trump was asked about Jeffrey Epstein, and when he was asked, he said, you know, Jeffrey likes him young. Well, how did the president know that? How did he know that Jeffrey Epstein likes him young? Perhaps some people are saying he was there, since you're so concerned, right? But again, I bring this up not to make jest. I bring it
Point
up.
of order, Mr. Chairman.
I bring it up. I thought we weren't going to interrupt.
Yes. Donald Trump's dear friend, Jeffrey Epstein, makes another unwanted appearance. I mean, the files are literally named after Epstein, and somehow Trump acts like he barely knew the guy? What's even more nauseating, Trump has turned this entire thing into a circus, like it's some joke, like it's a game, and MAGA still doing backflips to defend him, even while they start scratching their heads. James Comer and Anna Paulina Luna are actually two rare MAGA loyalists daring to question the almighty Trump machine on this. But Marjorie Taylor Greene, oh bless her heart, just the other day she demanded, we need more transparency around Epstein. Great idea, Marge. Might want to start by calling up your old pal Donald. Last time I checked, he's the one sitting on all the secrets, playing dumb like it's amateur hour at Mar-a-Lago. But that's MAGA logic in a nutshell. Never make sense, never take responsibility, and never ever question Daddy Trump. Speaking of next level delusion, listen to Don Jr. whining about it here.
We're never gonna surrender. It's not our style, man. We don't. At this point, we gotta fight, because congratulations. If you're in this room right now, you're probably on the FBI list. You're in with me, my father, my family, so you're in with good company. I am on every list except the Epstein list. We haven't heard anything about that one in a while. I'm fine with all the other lists. As long as I'm not on the Epstein list, we're good, right? Speaking of which, how is it that my father can be convicted of 34 crimes, but no one on Epstein's list has even been brought to light? I'm trying to figure out how that's possible, right, folks? It's almost like they're trying to protect those pedophiles for some reason. I can't imagine why, right? We're not allowed to say they're groomers, but when they act a lot like groomers, sort of tells you everything you need to know, right?
Come on, Don Jr., you're not just off the guest list. You're practically the main act at the Epstein after party. Let's be clear, Donald Trump openly boasted about being Epstein's best friend for over 10 years. That's not spin. Those were his actual words. And if that's not enough, journalist Michael Wolff reported that Epstein still had ties to Trump's White House during his first term. So the MAGA crowd trying to dump all this filth on Biden, Harris, or Obama, none of whom had any known connection to Epstein, isn't just dishonest, it's laugh out loud absurd. Actually, no. It would be funny if it weren't so disgustingly desperate, but once you're that deep in the MAGA echo chamber, facts don't seem to matter. They've twisted themselves into such a pretzel defending Trump, they've completely detached from reality. That's why it was genuinely surprising to see James Comer push back even a little. Will it lead to anything? Doubtful, but rest assured, we're not letting this slide. And trust me, what's coming next? You're going to want to see it. It's about Trump, and it's absolutely unreal. Click on it.